I'm waking up to ash and dust. I wipe my brow and I sweat my raps. I'm breathing in the chemicals. I'm breaking in, shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up. I feel it in my bones, enough to make my systems blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age. Radioactive, radioactive. Radioactive, radioactive. I'll raise my flag, start my clothes. It's a revolution, I suppose. We're painted red to fit right in. Whoa. I'm breaking in, shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up. I feel it in my bones, enough to make my systems blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Oh, radioactive, radioactive. Radioactive, radioactive. All systems go, the sun is intact. Deep in my bones, safe from inside. I feel it in my bones, enough to make my system flow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age.
As this guy does a dance back here, this guy is alive and well, probably communicating and telling his people what to do. Now look, as I stop it right here, you have a nostril, an open mouth. You have this guy in the background. You still have this guy distorted out. These are different creatures right here. Let's watch him continue to open and close his mouth. There's his mouth open with a nostril, mouth open, and there's his mouth closed. Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Eric from the Deliverer channel, because the Ancient of Days is currently under suspension. So what we're doing today is an investigation I did, because if you guys remember right here, I did a video right here on the Ancient of Days channel. The time is at hand, the great apocalypse. Well, I was talking about these little creatures that carried a lightsaber type weapon from their realm, and I also covered some of this lunar vortex footage of these. You could even see here in this picture, if it'll stretch a little bit here, okay, you could see like these black dots here. These are either drones or other types of craft that are actually shooting out of these lunar AI technological monsters that I've proven in my previous vids on the Ancient of Days. And this was a plasma transfer happening. So yeah, that was I thought it was a pretty amazing video. And I also showed in that video of me being targeted with directed energy beams. That was what I was focusing more on in that video when I did the video here, The Time Is at Hand, the Great Apocalypse, I was focusing more on the directed energy and, of course, those little creatures like gnomes right here. I was focusing on these guys a lot more than what I should have been focusing on. Okay, of course we had the directed energy beams being shot at me. Now I was saying also, and I have stated in previous vids, now this is coming from the LED light, and I also state that they come from other beings that I can't see with the naked eye, but I could feel them. I could feel their vibration. And you can see there's a telephone pole here that has one of these 60 gigahertz LED 30 lights in there. All right, and there's one of the little creatures, and I call them gremlins because they are so annoying. I stopped recording them some time ago, but there's also something that is well in charge of over these things, because if you heard my last video from last night, yes, when I mean I've been doing this for a long time, I mean I have been doing this type of work where I would be investigating situations such as sort of paranormal investigation work I was interested in early on, back around 2005, for several years, only in our own homes, and because they were always activity, whether it be poltergeist, whether they be literal demonic infestations that would have to be needed to be cut. So in this video here, The Time Is at Hand, the Great Apocalypse, I was very interested, and my friend Sean here was giving me help on these lightsabers that were shooting across, because that also resolved the video called Light Orb Raw Footage, Quantum Reality Part 2. The lightsaber things that were whipping by me were these guys, little creatures, okay? They're called gnomes, fae, fairy, all sorts of names they have from all different parts of the world, okay? One little creature is always carrying a lightsaber type weapon that is actually used to attack me with. Every bit of the footage I have published is 100% real. I have never added a single pixel or used Photoshop even once. I don't have to do anything of the sort. I know that I am responsible for everything I say before the word, okay? People say, well, you shouldn't be hunting these things. No, I was called as a watchman. That's exactly why I'm capturing these directed energy beams coming out of our LED lights from across the street. Like I've said before, even these beings that we can't see with the naked eye that are operating from inside the fifth density, which is the astral plane, which is the dream state, which is where we ascend to, that bypasses time and where we are most vulnerable for attack. Now what I want to show you is the full clip here mixed with the video of the daytime footage here. Okay, we're going to have a look at this and a listen so you guys can get a look at where these beings are at in comparison to the daytime and how huge and massive they truly are. Let's watch. Doing a check for directed energy off that LED. LED 30. Street lamp. Rubber, Connecticut, Ellsworth. Okay, now see how I'm layering in the nighttime footage. Now I'm wondering how in the world was I capturing the LED coming off of this pole here so clearly. Okay, because this footage goes back to that video, The Time Is at Hand, the Great Apocalypse, which had to do with those little creatures. But I'm going to show you here, this was actually taken from yesterday. I'm just speculating that perhaps something was pushing down the branches. I do not know. We're going to have to pray for discernment on that. But let's start to layer in what actually was there in that video that we missed. Across from Leverett, Ellsworth Road. Right down. Now you see how I'm picking up that LED light so clearly compared to where I'm standing? This tree should not be picking up that LED that clearly. That tells me that, you know, perhaps those branches were exposing the LED light that is there, that we're going to look more into in a minute here. Wait till you see what we captured. Down there. That's where they're pulsing them from. You can see the lights going. You guys see this thing here? Doing like the dance down in the background? This large creature here wearing like a hood type thing with two huge wings. And look at this beast. This massive creature. This reptilian being right here. Don't worry, we got a lot to cover. We're going to get really into this and show you things that I don't think anybody's ever exposed or seen manifest in front of them. This is a true powerful testimony to the power of the seal of the living God, because Father God had placed me before an army of these creatures along with AI technology, and none of it prospered against me. Therefore, our Father and his Spirit within us, the Holy Spirit within us, far greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. Let's continue to watch. Okay, see what I'm showing you? This guy here with the big wings here, he's like all the way across the street. This is my neighbor's. That guy that's doing the dance right up there, this is actually a slope that goes way up. At first I thought he was like levitating until I went and took a look and realized, yeah, it's just up on a slope. If he is that massive next to the tree, and we're going to do a human comparison pretty soon here. So let's keep watching. That's cool looking, huh? What the hell is that? I have no idea what that was. Yeah, I had no idea what that was. There they are, the two little creatures, number one and number two. Look at this beast that we have in the trees. He is massive. He must be 12 to 15 feet tall. Because this guy out here, we're going to get a way better look at all this. This guy back here has to be, roughly 8 feet tall. This guy with the wings who's crouched down that's going to be looking at me shortly is massive in himself. Okay, so we can't miss that, right? Let's back out of this. Now I want to show you just some daytime footage to get you a look here at what my yard looks like. Yeah, I know the grass is terrible. I got some work to do. That's why I got to get out there and start working, guys. All right, so this right here, as a matter of fact, let's let it play just so you guys could hear what I'm saying. Sunday, April 24th, 2021. I want to give you an actual visual of where these beings were. Okay, here's my yard. My house is 2 stories. It's probably about 23 feet up to the roof there. Okay, where the entity was in the trees right here, which is about 50 or 60 feet from where I'm standing now. The LED lamp you won't be able to see, but you can see the telephone pole if I zoom in. Okay, let me back it up here. Do you guys notice that? Look at where I'm standing. This is pretty much, I mean, maybe not exactly where I was standing in that video, but look at how blocked the pole is. Now, granted, yes, the leaves are starting to just slightly bud on this tree here, okay, but that clip was actually back from December of 2020, but it doesn't matter. Father God is revealing these things to me now. These things are on the earth. I can go outside at pretty much at any time. I don't go outside and record anymore. The Night's Watch ended on March 30th or 31st. I'm not sure which day it was, but that was the last night, so I don't go out and record these beings anymore. But that guy that was doing the dance over there, he must have been humongous. So I'm wondering, because I moved around in multiple positions and I couldn't get a good look at that LED like we saw there. And you're going to see shortly. Let's keep watching. See the telephone pole if I zoom in on it. Okay, there's the telephone pole. If we follow it all the way up, I know the leaves are starting to come in on the trees, but all the way up at the top is where the LED lamp is. So the entity that we saw in the trees was at about that height right there, which is at about 8 to 10 feet. Right there, okay. He was hanging. Okay, he was hanging out though, as I'm about to say. Like, you saw his head, it was massive. I mean, he was huge. It kept getting blocked out, and I was suggesting that, was it possibly perhaps because there was these beings in the trees that are very predator-like? Well, I talk about a lot like the movie right here. Let's have a quick look. These things are cloaked. See how it moves in the background, and that's when you see it. And that's because these creatures are translucent. Truly, I'm going to show you and prove it to you in this video. Keep watching this for entertainment. See? There you go. They're very, very similar to that. Now, we all should be well aware that what they show us in the movies is very much like real life, because this here is real invisibility cloak technology. 10 of the most amazing invisibility technologies. Here, I found this on YouTube, and I actually had seen this technology being used in one of the Iraq or Afghanistan wars, and I can't find the clip, but let's have a look and a listen here, and then we're going to look at some amazing footage.
Researchers at the University of California, Berkeley are beginning to control how light reflects on objects. They have developed something called a carpet cloak. Carpet cloaks are made from Teflon and ceramic particles. In carpet cloaking, an object is put underneath a layer, which is called the carpet. Using a variable refractive index, objects underneath the carpet become undetectable to light. So, all you see is the carpet, the layer on top, and not the object underneath. The project is being led by Professor Shang Zhang and is still in its early stages. But he and his team are optimistic that carpet cloaking will change the way we think about invisibility and eventually allow invisibility to become somewhat mainstream. Number 5. Shen Shiku's Invisibility Cloak. Shen Shiku is the deputy head of Criminal Investigation Department at the Ministry of Public Security in China, and he claims that he has successfully made an invisibility cloak. He posted his creation on YouTube, where it quickly...
Look at this. Just truly amazing. Okay, so that's the number 5 on the top 10 most amazing invisibility technologies. Let's watch them turn around. You can't see them there, right? Well, if they have this technology, it's because it's been passed down. Nothing is new under the sun. This is just technology that's been restored since the Ancient of Days. This is fallen angel technology that they still use to this day.
Racked up views. He is calling his technology quantum technology cloth made of transparent material.
Did you hear that? Quantum technology cloth. Now, what do I always say? We're in a quantum reality for the new world order. So on this video here, when I showed that the LED street lamp across the road there that was shooting directed energy beams and multiple videos. I was doing a test that night. Okay, so we actually, let's go ahead and have a look at that right here. So let's listen to what I was saying, because I was wondering why in the world was this LED light, because this was December 1st of 2020. Why were all of the branches being pushed down to where you couldn't see this light all that well? It was being blocked out, and I was speculating that the large lizard type creature that was in the tree here was maybe moving the branches and then blocking out the LED light. Let's listen to what I had to say, and then I'm going to show you what was really blocking out the LED light. Again, look at how the LED light is moving like crazy. Is it possible that this creature is moving through the trees, causing that anomaly? Do you see that? And then as I start to zoom in here, you're going to see something amazing. Because now look, it's like almost all covered up again completely, but it stabilizes. Okay, let's look again real quick. Watch. Okay, and turn the sound off. I want you to notice here. Let's look at how this is all starting to get blocked out. Like right there, you could barely see it anymore. It's as if something is moving the branches. Okay, moving the branches with a lot of force to move these branches down to block that light. You see that? That's an anomaly that was, I just couldn't figure out what was going on. Well, we certainly figured it out today. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this here. because this was what I took for information today in my yard to get a good look at the situation and what was going on, because I uncovered exactly what was covering up that LED light. But I wanted to get a good look at the branches in the trees and take different angle views of what was going on. Let's listen real briefly here to what I had to say, and then we'll get into it. That's the LED lamp. See how much branches are around that? The only reason why we were able to see it so clearly is because of that thing that was crawling up the outside of the tree branches there. That's right. There's something that's crawling up on the outside of the tree branches. You know what I feel strongly was crawling up outside of the tree branches? Was something that looks like this, but not this in particularly. This was that serpentine creature that I shared in the Doomsday Test video, along with, I believe, also in the Nephilim on the Earth video. Now, this is that frog being that I captured outside of my front doorway, back in 2019. This had an interesting story because I'd say every night that I could see this being looking in through the windows, and then I'd hang up a coat or something to block the window so that they couldn't, this thing couldn't look into the living room, as I could see it every night. You could see a slit for an eye there, an open jaw, a tongue. Here it is again. Another night, you could see the same frog being, 2 eyes, wide open mouth. Then I brought it out to even more clear detail. Here's the open mouth, eye, tongue hanging out. Okay, so that's what I feel we're about to look at. Now let's look at this here, because this goes back to December 21st of 2018. Only has 887 views. Of course, this guy's only got 3 subs. Let's give it a like, because this is interesting. Apparently they're out in the woods. Whether they're hiking or hunting, I'm not sure. Now, I've actually seen something very, very similar to this when I was younger, on several occasions, actually. So let's get a look and a listen as to what they saw here and how disturbed they actually sounded here. This doesn't seem at all to be a hoax. Now, let's watch.
Do you see that? Over there, look, over there. Do you see that?
What the hell?
Wait, because that was it again, right there. Wait.
I don't like this.
You see that? Right there. Look.
Oh my god. That's not an animal. I don't like it.
Okay, fuck. Go.
Okay, did you see that? Let's look at it again. That's amazing, right? I know it's low resolution, but watch.
Over there, look, over there. Do you see that?
What the hell?
There, right there. Now follow that.
Wait.
That's why these things are so difficult to pick up, because they truly are like the predator. Now again, I feel strongly that what we're about to witness is one of these frog-like entities, because you'll see this thing scale the tree unlike anything I have ever seen before, and I had to go into great length to bring out the details of this creature. Now let's have a look. Now again, this is from the latest video I did called Apocalypse Now, the Archon Manifest, of this giant reptilian lizard-like creature that was in the trees. There's one eye there, has a mouth with a tongue hanging out. Never mind all these other entities. If you're interested, you could watch the video. Okay, this was one heck of a manifestation. Let's let it play without sound as we look at this. Okay, we brighten it up. You see the 2 eyes, the mouth, the tongue hanging out. We also have multiple beings down below here. Then we have creatures out there. Let's get a look at this thing when it was opening and closing its mouth right here. There's a nostril there, a nostril there, a mouth there, a large eye, a humongous cranium. Okay, but these down here are actually different entities. This is across the street at my neighbor's house. This was another reptilian type entity that had wings. This guy actually had wings as well. And I later learned, or at least discerned, that there's something laying on the ground here that this thing was dancing over and conjuring or doing something. Perhaps it was, I don't even know. I don't want to speculate and add my opinions in on there. I have a lot of opinions as to what was happening that night, that experience, as I continue to go back and look at that through the fifth density recall, which is remote viewing. Okay, let's watch this guy open and close his mouth with the nostrils real briefly here before we get in. There it says now his mouth is closed, okay, as the nostrils close. And then I'm pointing out the eyes and the huge cranium. And then as he opens his mouth again here in a second, you're going to see that, I don't know, right there's his mouth open. Is he communicating with all of these other beings that some are right beneath him or right across the street? This guy's way across the street, possibly more than 100 yards away. This guy's probably 75 yards away. Okay, this guy was in the tree about 15 to 18 feet high. That's how far up it was. I did measurements today, okay? There he is with his mouth open, nostril, eye, massive cranium, large neck going down. Now let's watch him close his mouth and open it. Closes it again, opens it, and every time he closes it and opens it, of course we looped it, you see these entities here making different motions. Therefore, they're actually well alive. They're well alive and communicating. These are powers and principalities. This is the fallen reptilian race that operate at a frequency and a vibration that is outside of our visual sight through our eyes, that is interpreted through our brains, then perceives what what manifests in this physical world. Well, all they have to do is vibrate at a different frequency through our eyes to where we cannot see them, because we only take in, at best, at 20/20 vision, 0.7%, that's less than 1% of the perceived world that we see, that we live within through our eyes, that are then manifested into our brain to imagine what we see and perceive as the real world. Now here he is again as we circled him. This is the guy you should be paying attention to the most. Large eye, massive cranium. There's his mouth even open here with a tongue hanging out. And there's his large reptilian neck. And the reason why I say reptilian is because I don't know of any other type of creature that's outside of the sea that can operate in complete camouflage like a chameleon, other than a lizard type being such as this one right here, with the tongue, with the eyes, and the massive cranium. So let's go ahead and get a look at that footage now. Alright, so let's set up the scene here for you. This is the Apocalypse Now video, Archon Manifest. Right now I am talking about the LED light, which of course is distorted out because you had to go into a way different color scale to bring out this chameleon type entity, which I firmly feel in my spirit is that frog type being that was crawling up the side of the tree. This is a large tree that goes up. The branches go way out because this was back over the winter, late winter of 2020, the last couple weeks of December before the winter was over. The trees were completely bare. Therefore, I should have been seeing a good view of this LED lamp. Let's have a look. Okay, look right here. This is awesome. There he is right there. You can see a leg there. A leg there. It actually looks like his leg is turned and he has even a giant calf muscle. And one leg is way up here. I know it looks highly digital, and that's because I had to change it, the color scale, so much to bring this hidden creature out. As you can see, because it's so, this color scale was so changed that you don't see clearly the entities that were in the tree, nor these guys that were across the street. But what we do see clearly is that there's something right here with a bent leg and a large calf muscle hanging on the sides of the tree here that are actually the branches coming down. So it was on the outside of the tree. Let's watch it start to crawl up and then block out this light, because that's exactly what's happening. Watch this start to crawl up. Okay? See, notice how it's starting to block it out. And you see all these little black dots here? Those are actually nanobots or micro drones that I showed in that video. Those are the micro drones. You can't deny that there's little black dots there that are covering that LED light, and maybe they're getting disturbed from this guy crawling up the branches. Let's watch him keep crawling up, and how it completely blocks out right there. It completely blocks out now the LED light, which perfectly explains why that LED light kept getting blocked out. And I was saying, why does that light keep getting blocked out? I was wondering what was causing the LED light to run into so many of these anomalies where it looked like the branches were being blocked out. Well, let's look at this thing climb the trees. And I understand that it looks very digital and broken up color-wise, and that's specifically because it is translucent. These things are very, very difficult to pick up, but you can't deny that there's something here crawling up the side of the tree. Look at the LED light now. It's almost completely blocked out. As this thing continues to climb around, this thing was crawling on the outside of the tree. Look at how, there we go, almost completely blocked out as this guy is trying to like walk around or climb around carefully. And there's that entity, that giant lizard being that was in the trees. Now, this is about 15 feet off the ground, okay? And I'm not zoomed in at all yet. That's how huge this thing is. And you see how the LED is completely almost blocked out by this thing that's climbing in the trees. Let's continue to watch and see what happens. This is just truly amazing footage as we see it move around, okay? This here is the entity right here. That's the entity. All right. Right there. Again, as we go back to a more clear picture, looks like it has a giant calf muscle right there. And then look at how flexible this thing is as it climbs up the tree. Before we continue on, this is what I feel we're looking at scaling a tree. This is one of these frog beings that I captured outside my house. This is the first time I caught it right outside my front door. You can't deny that it has a slit for an eye, an open mouth, and a tongue. Okay, I feel that this is exactly what we see scaling the tree in a chameleon type fashion, because these things are very hard to capture. As you could see, even right here, when we look, okay, when we go back just a little bit, look at how much they are cloaked. They almost look very chameleon-like. They blend right in with the woods that they're in. They blend right in with the woods. As you see it right here, if it wasn't for the eyes and the mouth, I wouldn't have even seen it. And then on the next one that we look at, if it wasn't for it being right outside my window with this within the mist that night, because you guys that watch my channel, you know about the mist of 2019, which were sensor swarms. This thing was actually almost outside of the mist completely. There's a slit for an eye. It looks like it has a giant arm going up here when you brighten it up, but you can't deny that it has an open mouth there. So this is what I feel that we are looking at with all my strength. Now let's look again at this footage one last time. Okay, there's the LED light getting blocked out. I was before thinking it was those things in the trees, but no. Here's what it is right here. As it hops up onto the tree, it starts to climb. Watch it climb up. This is some of the most amazing revelation I've ever seen as far as one of these chameleon type entities that are blocking out this light. That I kept saying, well, maybe it's this guy here in the tree that's all blurred out because I had to change the lighting so much, when in truth, it's really this guy with these two big legs with a giant calf muscle. He's got a clear back, looks to have a head. All right, so it's there's many, many creatures out here, especially in this video. This was one experience that I will never forget. I didn't bring him out to great detail, but you can see this guy's leg shot across as he goes up the tree. And right now, it looks like the LED is almost completely blocked out, and that's because the trees are being pulled down, the branches are being pulled down. Let's continue to watch as this thing continues to just climb around and hang on to the branches. Maybe he's trying to evade detection, but last time, we'll look again, giant calf muscle there. He's got his legs spread out there as he's climbing up upon the tree. This looks pretty much exactly where I was at in that last video. Okay, now let's get a look at the comparison vid, because this is a guy here who's my neighbor. He's probably a little over 6 feet tall. He was a pretty tall guy, tall, thin guy, and he was out working today. So let's have a listen to what I said here in comparison to what these beings were. Okay, let's watch. Okay, Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. I want to give a size comparison. Okay, here I have my tree here. Oh, my lawn looks terrible. Got my neighbor over there. Okay, that's where the entity was, up there. Okay, that tree is pretty big. Now that's about the same distance. That man there's about 6 foot tall or so. He's pretty tall, maybe taller. Look at the size comparison from him at 6 something to the size comparison of the entities that were all the way up there, much further back, maybe even 50 feet further back. First, let's look at the Doomsday, because before we get into the footage I'm about to show you, which is absolutely amazing, it's going to blow you away. Yeah, we don't have to put any sound on here, but let's look, because the micro drones and the nanobots and these entities that we can't see with the naked eye, but they are clearly here in the unseen realm, which is within the 5th density, mixed in through the 3D realm, through the ether. Okay, but they are attacking us with directed energy beams and all sorts of AI technology. Let's just look here, okay, as they continually shoot these beams at me, which these beams are different beams now. They're actually much harder to pull out in my software. Now, people could say, well, where in the world are those coming from? Like I was saying, they're either coming from micro drones or from other beings that we can't see with the naked eye. Well, I'm quite confident that those are actually coming from micro drones. As I felt something on the back of my leg here, bear with me, I turn and boom, there it was. The directed energy beam that was coming down. Okay, also here on Project Bluebeam, before we get into the footage, let's just look at this, because this plays into relevance as to what I'm about to show you. Look at this white dot here. Let's just let it play. Okay, it's in a different color scale, and you're going to see different various holographic lasers, assault frequencies, and all of these pulsing flashes of white light, which are actually infrared lights that are popping off of micro drones. I can't see those infrared lights with the naked eye, but I'm able to pick them up with my camera. I've had many nights that I went out there and was blown away. Those are holographic lasers, directed energy weapons, free space optical communications. See the white dot there, the white dot there. I'm just saying, I'm here saying in the video that they're pulsing from all over the place, and there you go. Then you have a directed energy beam being shot at me, along with that right there, that white dot right there, because these micro drones are flashing. Now, the micro drones you're about to look at was an entire swarm of these things, as you see these continuous little pulsing flashes of light in this video, okay, with more information weapons and obvious assault frequencies being used against us. Okay, so what we're looking at here, if you remember, I talked about in the last vid that I'd show you exactly where that micro drone was. The picture of that translucent micro drone that was shooting off into the sky. Well, here it is right here. All we got to do is just follow the cursor that's there, and we're going to watch it take off. Okay, here's a close-up of it. There you can see, right there. It's that very V-shaped pattern. And at the very tip of it right there, okay, right, that's the circle drone, okay, with the overlaid image of it, so that you could see exactly where it is, like a V-shaped pattern. If you watch the Doomsday test and interdimensionals, you'd be very familiar with all of these translucent micro drones that were shooting off into the sky. Now the very tip of that might or might not be for the 2 grams of shape charge explosive. And this is the exact part of the video footage that I wasn't able to share, that you're going to see this thing actually launching off into the sky. Okay, there it is in the launch position. It could be too overlapping, but it's even got depth. It looks to have almost like an antenna. The very front is rounded, a rounded tip. You see it right there where I'm circling. It's going to shoot off. Okay, we're going to watch it shoot off, and then that spot will be bare. Now, if you look right there, you got something that's like translucent as I overlay it right there. And then you're going to see it shoot off, and then we're going to circle it as it enters the sky. Now it just took off in 1/60th of a frame. Now that spot there that was translucent is gone. Now let's move it back. There's that translucent thing again. I overlaid it for easier to see. It's still there. Now we shot it off. Look at that spot there. It's cleared out. Let's move it back. And now you see that part filled up. Let's move it forward. You see the black dot way up top. Move it back. Move it forward. And it's up in the sky. There's what it looks like when it's moved back right there. Now let's launch it off. And you'll see it go into the sky. It went off. And there it is right there as it's being circled. But this area right here is now emptied because that micro drone shot off in 1/60th of a frame. Check for directed energy off that LED. LED 30. Street lamp. Okay, do you guys see what I'm saying here? See how clear the LED light is here? I'm not like getting any blockage at all from this. When I was showing the footage earlier from the daytime footage, this tree was covering everything. I had no visual of the LED light that is there. Now let's watch this clip here, and you're going to see how exposed this LED lamp actually gets compared to how much tree is in the way. So I'm not really sure how that happened. That's up for discernment, but let's watch this incredible footage. Broadbrook, Connecticut, Ellsworth. Across from Leverett, Ellsworth Road. 60 gigahertz. Okay, see how it like almost completely shut? That's why I am speculating, guys, because, you know, I know that these things are out there and they move around, they're translucent. Could it possibly be shaking the branches there? Because that thing is massive and those are big, thick branches. If it's crawling around, it would certainly be exposing more of the light than it would be if it was moving onto another branch. If you're picking up what I'm saying. Let's watch. Oh yeah, that thing is... Look at how well exposed that is. It's almost as if something's crawling around on it, and you're going to see something surely is. This is awesome. Pulsing like mad. Look at them over there. Right down there. Okay, look at that. Look at all these trees here starting to light up. These are all those micro drones. They're micro drones that are starting to light up with their infrared lights. And again, look at how exposed this LED light is. I have no idea why that is. Let's continue to watch. Where they're pulsing them from. You can see the lights going. See this guy here doing a dance and this guy here just chilling out. And then you got this massive, absolutely massive creature here. Don't worry, we're going to show you so much stuff. Just keep watching. This guy's doing like a dance. That's how I first recognized this guy. He looks like he's wearing a cloak and everything, but no, this is a reptilian entity, and you're going to see it. And this guy is absolutely massive because he's all the way across the street at my neighbor's yard. That's cool looking, huh? What the hell is that? Okay, do you see the size of these things? This is likely across the street at my neighbor's right at the end of the yard. So this thing is huge. It looks like it's in a seated position trying to lay low. Well, this thing looks to me to be doing some sort of dance, which I could only come up with. He's conjuring. He's conjuring.
I have no idea what that was.
I said I had no idea what that was. Now let's watch as we slow it down a little. Look at the orb coming out right here. Then it manifests on the ground. Let's hit pause. Look at this guy. Okay, look at him. One eye, two eyes. He's got a mouth there, a big wide cranium. Okay, we're going to get a way better look in a minute. Let's just keep an eye on this guy here. Now these things down here are all different entities that we're going to look at closely, including this guy with the wings, including this guy across the street, including this well-exposed LED lamp that actually has an entity on it, as well as microdrones swarming about it. Let's continue to watch. Okay, look at this here. Look at how exposed this is. And look at this thing that's wrapping around it. Now I want you to pay attention also, not only to this guy. We're going to get into everything, guys. But watch the things that are orbiting this LED light. And how is everything so exposed right now? Okay, do we see the things orbiting right here in the LED? Now let's stop. Look at this thing. There's nothing on the pole that would look like this, and we're going to see it vanish in a minute. It's truly incredible. Whoa. Let's go back a hair. Right there. As we just slipped it back. Do you see this creature here? This winged thing that just flew off. And this dude's head just got a little bit smaller. Let's go back a little bit. Okay, now we're getting a good look. After this guy's head took off, because there was an entity attached to this pole. There it is right there. You have an eye there, an eye there. Looks like to have two wings and a nose. Let's keep watching it. This is truly incredible footage. Okay, notice, it's just the pole there now. We have the same thing with an eye there, an eye there. It looks to have like wings almost. Maybe it's even two separate creatures. But we also have right here a 3D object coming out there. A 3D object coming out there. Let's keep watching. Okay, let's watch it again. As it's spinning, you see the microdrones orbiting. That guy's head just disappeared as that thing flew off. We have a 3D looking object here that's casting a shadow upon this light. Alright, and you have a black object right there. This is amazing, guys. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, as it's orbiting, look at all the different movements on this thing. Okay, there's objects right here. Let's hit pause. You got a black object there, a 3D black, two of them right here. Now, the thing that used to be a head here is gone completely. But there's also other creatures. Let's watch as this goes. I'm going to hit pause right when it manifests. Look at this thing right here. It looks like a puff of smoke and a whirlwind just ascended up to the top of this and is blocking out the light along with these 3D looking objects. And they're very, very black. You got 1, 2, 3, a large one there, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 objects orbiting this LED light. It's incredible. So I went and put it into a black and white scale to see if they were solid. They certainly are. 1, 2, 3, and they always are in that same 3 pattern formation orbiting the LED light that's across the street from my house. Let's continue to watch and see what we got going on here as we bring it out. Okay, a little larger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, right there. That guy's head popped off. Let me move it back. Okay, see the thing right here? See the thing right here? Now let's move it. Boom, it shot right up to here. It was right here. Now let's move it back. See it? Now it's right here. Now let's move it back again. Move it forward, rather. And now it's up here. You see how these things change color like chameleons? Because right here it's blending in. Or is it this black thing right here? I'm not sure. and then we move it forward. Boom, there it is. Let's let it keep playing. There it is. There's that thing's head that just took off. And the more that it blocks the light, the less is on this telephone pole. That's what's truly amazing. As you see those micro drones orbiting, or perhaps they're even interdimensional entities. Now let's get a look at these guys. You got one guy there, as they take pot shots at me. Boom! See him shooting his little lightsaber at me. Let's let it play because we're going to get looking at this giant lizard in the trees. Alright? Again, look at how the LED light is moving like crazy. Is it possible that this creature is moving through the trees, causing that anomaly? And then as I start to zoom in here, you're going to see something amazing. Because now look, it's like almost all covered up again completely, but it stabilizes. Now watch this. These are those infrared lights that start popping off. Incredible. Look at them all here in the trees. These are what's called micro drones. Let's watch as they start lighting them up. I put them down to like 0.1% so we can see them all start to light up because it happens so fast that you can literally miss it in a heartbeat. Look at this. There's nothing there. When I lit it up, let's back it up a hair. Look, when I lit it up here, there's nothing there. Okay, these aren't even on the trees. These are on my house and whatnot. These are off of the trees. This isn't even on the tree. This is the sky that you're seeing right there, along with directed energy beams being shot at me from right here, from all of these nanobots and micro drones. And here they are more enhanced to bring them out. Those are some amazing colors. As we draw them in closer, it almost looks like you're at a planetarium. And just look at them all. There's literally a swarm of AI technology right here, everywhere, okay? And all of these powers of darkness, whether it be technology or whether they be reptilians and fallen beings, it doesn't matter. They do not prosper. Now let's start to get a look at this guy that's doing the dance right here, because this is no guy that's just doing a dance by any means, nor is this guy who's doing nothing but sitting there shifting and whatnot. Let's get a better look at this guy. Remember that guy that was draping out by like my neighbor's yard, the end of the yard, or at the end of my yard with the wings? Well, there he is right here. Let's get a good look at him because he's got two huge glowing eyes right there. Two huge glowing eyes with two what looks to be wings to me, okay? Or some sort of like cloaking thing. And this here is actually that orb. This is that orb that manifested into... Let's get a good look at it close up. This is that orb that manifested into that Jedi-looking creature with a lightsaber on the ground. Isn't that just incredible when you look at this thing really close up? Okay, but then when we back it out, what's even more incredible to look at close up is this guy right here with the wings. One eye, two eyes. This guy was just cooling out at the end of either my yard or at the end of my neighbor's yard. I'm feeling more at the end of my neighbor's yard. You could see it even connects its neck here if we lighten it up just a little bit. Okay? As you lighten it up, you can see it's all one being. Okay? But of course, these things are well camouflaged in the night. And that's their strength, is that you can't see them. So, again, down the bottom here, this is that orb thing that manifests into one of those Jedi creatures. This is when it flew out, and I caught it. And you could see how it's almost like that cloaked being flies in itself with the cloak and everything. And this would be like his white face. To me, that's what I perceive in my spirit. I don't like to draw conclusions. I like for you guys to receive this in your own spirit. For those of you that know me, you know that. But this thing clearly has an eye with what looks to be like two wings as he just chills out at the end of the yard or in my neighbor's yard. And this guy here, he's the reptilian. You can clearly see an eye there with his mouth open. Let's get a good look because this guy, you could even see his teeth. All right, let's see if we could change the scale on this a little bit. and maybe make this more clear to you guys. Let's go to a different filter mode right here. There we go. You cannot miss that eye there. Okay, there he is up close with that eye. And then when we back him out, you could see his body. You could see his jaw with a mouth wide open. If we go ahead and just lighten it up a little bit, you could see that, yes, this thing is all connected. He's got that wide neck, what looks to be like a wing or a body with those clear reptilian eyes. You cannot miss those right there. They're truly amazing. As we really sharpen it up there, you can see his jaw is wide open. Might even have a tongue hanging out for all we know, but at this point it starts getting pretty distorted. One last time, bring him back a little bit, and then we'll bring him closer. Okay. As we dull him down just a little bit, there he is. There's the reptilian being that was across the street doing its dance. And one last time, we got this guy here with one eye, two eyes. Down on the bottom, we have that guy floating around. He is truly incredible to look at. He still has that like cloaked looking thing that he's wearing, and this might even be his bright face, and then he manifests on the ground as an orb. Get a better look at this guy. I was blown away by this. And this creature here, as that orb comes flying out, these guys are conjuring. These are black magician reptilians that are conjuring. Here we go. Let's keep watching. You got that little Jedi creature on the ground. Okay. Now we layered it over so you can see what this guy looks like. Okay, you got a tongue hanging out. One eye there, one eye there. This big, huge head. With this guy over here, he's got his wings hanging down. You got a Jedi-looking little gnome that manifested on the ground. What an amazing revelation, truly. As we brighten it up even more and look at this, still the same huge bug-like eyes with an open mouth. And you're going to see this thing in a little while with its mouth opening and closing and moving around. Let's continue on with this. There they are. There's those little creatures. 1 and 2. Have you ever seen anything like this in your life? Another, even with a little closer up, with that guy with the wings. We're going to have some fun in a minute here as we start getting into these pictures. I had to go to great lengths today to come out with how I'm going to show you those pictures because they kept shutting me down. Now we slow it down, go back in reverse so you could look at these little gnomes. Now we're going to also look at every creature that's here. Let's watch this guy here, okay? You got him just trying to lay low. You got this guy who's a reptilian being. These are the directed energy beams that are coming from autonomous drones. As you saw, all those lights up in the sky, or up in the tree rather, now they're shooting directed energy at me. Okay, let's look at this guy here. He's opening and closing his mouth. Let's watch him right here. Here we go. Look at him. He's going to be opening and closing his mouth. As this guy does a dance back here, this guy is alive and well, probably communicating and telling his people what to do. Now look as I stop it right here. You have a nostril, an open mouth. You have this guy in the background. You still have this guy distorted out. These are different creatures right here. Let's watch him continue to open and close his mouth. There's his mouth open with a nostril, mouth open, and there's his mouth closed. Eye, humongous forehead with his mouth closed, and you can still see 2 slits for nostrils. Mouth open, nostrils, nostril, mouth. Now they're closed again. They open, closed, open, closed. This guy's for real. He's alive, and he is massive. And I'm talking likely 10 to 12 possibly even 15 feet tall. I just don't know. So now here we got him circled. You can see he's got a tongue hanging out. He's got a massive eye and a massive forehead. This here's a little Jedi gnome. Now down here, these are separate beings that we're going to get a good close look at. Let's keep watching. Okay, here's the Jedi guy right here. You can see him even bent over with his lightsaber type weapon. This guy still has his tongue hanging out. This guy just continues to have his wings down. Eye, huge forehead. Let's keep watching. Okay, now we have the guy off in the distance. You can see a wing here. Okay, looks like he's doing some sort of dance. Let's see what else is going on. There's a little more clear and sharpened up. You can tell there's a wing right there. Here he is closer. Wing there. Bizarre looking head. He's probably sideways. Now here's the reptilian. Okay. You got an open mouth. An eye there. An eye there. Okay. Now we got a close up. Perfect eye right there. Okay. There's his body. That's his mouth. Big thick neck. There we go. Now we see him. Okay, it looks like he's cloaked completely here. Now this is the image from the Nephilim Have Returned video, because it looks like the same duck-like head serpentine creature, only further away. Let's look. Okay, here's the one that I caught in the woods back in 2019. Here's the one I caught just before 2021. They look like the same creature, only a lot further away. Okay, there we go again. This now he looks more cloaked. He's got that AI type looking device that's strapped onto his body. That's some sort of cloaking field technology that makes him blend in with everything around him. And then we have this cloaked looking fellow with this big weird looking neck. Okay, with his arms up, and he's doing some sort of dance. And we're going to get a closer look up at this guy right here, okay? Because let's not forget these guys that are all underneath this guy's massive head, okay? Eye, huge cranium, neck. It looks like right here is his neck going down. There's his mouth right there, a slit for a mouth. Looks like it goes into a crevice where his nostrils are. Okay, and these guys down here are separate entities in themselves. Let's continue to watch. Here they are as we start to isolate them a little bit. Now look at this guy here. He's almost like on one of those little scooter things or something, right? And then you have a guy with a hood right here. Okay, and that's like his lightsaber type weapon right there. Let's continue to watch and move it along. Alright, now we circled it again. He has his mouth open with his tongue out. There's those two creatures and the Jedi right there. Eye, mouth open with the tongue out, huge cranium. Let's continue to see what we have next. Okay, here we go. This guy here, you could see, it looks like he's got some sort of mechanical part that he's driving or something, right? This is from another realm. You could see a clear body, two legs going down on top of this mechanical looking device. Now we get a close-up. This is the one I wanted to show you. These are all that same little cluster. You have an eye there with a hooded cloak. And that looks like some sort of type of weapon from one of their realms, or another light being creature, or an orb. That I'm not sure about. Maybe this guy is the orb that manifests on the ground with the hood. He looks like a Jedi. You can clearly see two eyes there. This guy here, you can clearly see that he looks like he has two legs. At first I thought he was kneeling. And then I saw this down here. This looks like some sort of like mechanical wheels with a bar going across up here. Okay, it looks like he's wearing a helmet of some sort. Truly incredible. Absolutely amazing. Unlike anything I've ever seen before. So let's get a look at this last guy here again. This guy here with the great big wings. The eye there, the big drapey wings. And then right here we have that orb that looks just like that guy with the cloak coming. Okay, as we let it play, we got one eye, two eyes, two huge wings, and then we get right here to this reptilian guy with that eye right there. You can't miss it. And it looks to me as though he has some sort of breastplate or wing with sharp teeth and a jaw and a wide neck. So on that, my friends, I want to say much love from God the Father. I look forward to seeing you guys real soon. And right now it's 11:16 p.m. on the 27th of April. So hopefully this will be out before morning. Much love from God the Father again, guys. You have a blessed day. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day.